either you or, you know,
Darren.
yeah, Darren.
We do have one other employee that's on the generation side that meets that criteria, and that's Pat. But
Is there board members are not interested?
Well, it just sounds like it ticks 1/2 dozen together, so.
Well, since Mr. Gorczyk isn't here, he probably want to volunteer.
He probably would have, but then he might not be there.
Oh, if he's listening, maybe he can call in.
That's why you have a director too.
What other, I mean, the only duties that we're talking about is showing up for a maximum of 2 days
Yep.
a year?
That's correct.
Yep.
So that's the only, so you go for a day and a half and then maybe go down for another day.
Sometimes Director One will be involved in an email ballot, you know, so.
Is there anything that precludes, if you, whoever you have on here, if one of them can't go or whatever, that you actually pick, let's say, a second alternate?
No, you got 3 names, as long as one of the 3 goes.
As long as one of the 3 go.
Yeah. They just go in the pecking order on voting. If 1 ain't there, 2 votes. If 2 ain't there, then the alternate has his voting power.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Chairman?
I guess my thoughts are, given what I've heard this evening, I wouldn't mind having a board member in that slot, I think. And, you know, I think if, I would defer to one of you 2 gentlemen if you are interested. If you are not, I would suggest perhaps bumping me from the alternate slot and picking a new alternate. But, as I said, my first choice, if it were up to me, would be to have one of you 2 fill that slot. But I can't compel you to do so, certainly, if it's not something you're interested in doing.
Well, I would have no qualms with going. It just kind of depends on the date. And of course, it'd be, you know, taking off work for me, which isn't the end of the world, but it kind of depends on what's going on at that time. So I'd hate to be where, you know, every time it comes up, oh, well, there goes your, you know, if we went to Director 1, oh, well, it's always going to Director 2, well, then we should have just moved somebody else. I don't know if I'd have a problem being the alternate for that reason.
do we have an option to table this till Randy's here and ask Randy to?
I was
if
thinking
he's
the
got
same
any-
thing. Randy may have an interest, but you're right.
Yeah, you might.
Yeah,
And there's no urgency necessarily. I don't believe, is there, Lance?
Just before May.
May, right.
Yeah. That KMU meeting's usually the first week in May, is it not?
Because you have a director too,
Yeah,
so.
and we have an alternate, so.
My only concern isn't work. I can get off work fairly easily. My concern is lack of experience.
That's how you get experience.
I'm looking at Mark like, Mark's been here, he knows what's
That's
up.
something that you're interested in.
I'm still the new guy.
Well, why don't we table then and see if Randy has any interest, and we can all come back and see where we go with it.
So are you, do we have to take formal action on this, or do you have to vote on the table, or?
We just have to have a motion to table, right?
Yeah, I think just a motion to table, and if the board agrees, then we table it and we bring it back up whenever we decide to bring it back up.
Okay.
I think usually if you do make a motion to table, it's customary to suggest a time period for
Okay.
tabling, bring it up at the next meeting. I think would be reasonable. Do I hear that motion?
I move to table new business item number 1, or no, new business item number 2, until the next meeting that we have.
Second.
All right, I have a motion on the floor, motion by Mark, second by Lee, to table new business item number 2 until the February meeting. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I abstain.
And one abstention by Lance. Motion passes. That concludes new business for the night. Electric Utility Board staff updates. Mr. Krawcheck, do you have some updates for us?
Mr. Chairman, at this time, we do not have any updates.
All right.
We're not.
Any items from the board? I assume as if there had been any, we probably would have discussed them during work sessions. So unless there's any further business before the board, we're at the end of our agenda. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Chairman, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Lance, second by Mark to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We are adjourned.
Back to the horseshoe. But I recommend we take the chairs to the horseshoe.
There you go.
I do like the chairs.